Audible Studios presents Thin Line, written by L.T. Ryan, performed by Dennis Holland.
Chapter 1 December 31st, 2006. The target's name is Brett Taylor, and this'll be your toughest assignment yet. Frank Skinner set the blue folder in front of me, open to Taylor's service record. A paper clip held a small photo to the upper left side of the folder. A headshot of a face chiseled from stone, with eyes that gave a glimpse into a heart made of ice. I read over the file, then glanced at the picture again. I might as well have been looking into a mirror. There were a few similarities between me and the target. Physically, we were identical, 6 feet 2 inches, 220. We'd both enlisted in the military at the age of 18. He went into the Army, I became a Marine. We had both been selected for special assignment during boot camp. I turned to the next page. It was blank. Every single one that followed was as well. There were only a few reasons for that. "I'm not kidding, Jack," Frank continued. He pushed off the desktop and rolled backward. A rusted wheel squeaked until his chair collided into the wall with a soft thud. "This guy makes you look like a teddy bear. While you were off playing with the CIA, guarding doors in Baghdad and whatnot, Taylor was doing black ops so insidious that any record indicating they'd ever even been thought of has been incinerated. When you were playing anti-terrorist agent along with me, he was taking down cell leaders before they even knew they wanted to blow something up. He's the ultimate government weapon, and my understanding is that lately, those hostile to the nation's interests were not his only targets." I looked up from the documents and met Frank's stare. His dark eyes didn't waver. I saw fear, perhaps. Any time we had one of these meetings, Frank looked serious. Lips, nose, jaw, eyebrows, all could be manipulated. But his tone and gestures conveyed more concern than I'd ever seen from him. And we had a history that went back nearly 5 years to the summer of 2002, when he had hand-selected me to join him as his partner in the SIS. Together, we'd faced our share of men who had no regard for the welfare of others, so many that Frank's warning list read like the back of a cereal box. What was so different about Brett Taylor? "Can you give any examples?" Frank leaned back in his chair and placed both hands behind his shaking head. "You know I can't do that." "A hint, then?" Frank said nothing. He bit at his bottom lip, a tell that he was considering revealing more than he should. I had to press. "Hell, give me a country, Frank. I can take it from there." For guys like us, news headlines read like a who's doing what in the espionage and assassin community. Nothing was ever as tidy as they made it sound in the papers and on TV. Frank shook his head. "Can't do it. Not yet, at least. You live to finish the job, then we'll talk." I closed the folder, pushed it toward Frank. "Nothing but a bunch of blank pages in there." "That's to make a point." "Which is?" "Don't underestimate this guy. Every single one of those blank pages, and there's at least 50, could be filled with details of the assignments this guy has completed." "I get it. He's a badass. Jesus, Frank, how long have I been doing this?" I rose and shoved the chair to the side with my leg, and then leaned back against the glass wall and shoved my hands in my pockets. The glass felt cold against the back of my arms. Frank remained silent. Thick jaw muscles rippled at the corners of his face as he stared me down. There was plenty about Taylor and the job that he wasn't willing to share, or had been prohibited from revealing. At times things worked that way. We'd all become accustomed to it, and it was beneficial. The less I knew about a target, the easier it was to complete the assignment. The less Frank knew, the less guilt there might be over handing it over to me. I operated with a general understanding that if a government agency signed off on an order and sent me to someone's door, there was a pretty good reason. The justice I was dispatched to enforce was quick and generally merciful. We should all be so lucky. So, Brett Taylor, while he provided service to his country for over a decade, must have done something pretty heinous for me to be sitting across from Frank staring at a blank service record. I sat down, placed my arm on the desk, leaned forward.